sector. There were a lot of people on the Titanic, but depending which class you were in, what happened to you. If you were in steerage, you drowned. If you're in first class, you got off. It's the same thing now. Their cuts programme is differentially affecting us 13 times worse for the 10% poorest in our country than for the richest. This is not all in the same boat together. This is an attack on poor, working class, middle income people, an attack on the whole concept of public services.
And yet we live in the 5th richest country in the world. A country where 1,000 households control 350 billion pounds of wealth. More than twice the deficit. So if you simply took 50% of that wealth, you would more than wipe out that deficit.
The billionaires seem to be getting richer, while the rest of us are being asked to pay the price. And I've heard talk that they are asking the poor to pay the price for this crisis. This isn't just a war on the poor, this is a war on the overwhelming majority of the population.
But it is utterly unacceptable that the poorest and most vulnerable are forced to pay for the luxuries of the bankers.
Many hundreds of thousands and indeed millions of people are coming to recognise that what this government is about is not simply cutting the deficit and balancing its books on our backs. It is about dismantling the welfare state.
Pushing not only 500,000 people out of work that was announced today, but another 500,000 that will be pushed out in the private sector as a result. We are here to say that we will not stand for that. These cuts are destroying communities up and down the country. You know, David Cameron likes to talk about the big society, and yet what he's doing is destroying society all around this country.
The decisions they're making are the decisions you would expect from a cabinet where only 4 of them are not millionaires. These decisions are not based on economic necessity, but political choices. When they say they're going to stop the schools rebuilding programme, but invest in their free market madness around free schools, you get the sense of where they're going, to destroy the public sector. When they say they want pupil premium, but when you know that what they're really doing is cutting back on free school meals, it's cutting back on educational maintenance, it's raising that cap on tuition fees so that to bring in the private sector into higher education as well, you see the truth of what they're doing.
The reality is, education, the welfare state, our public services are all under threat. Our pensioners are under threat. And we need to mount a resistance against that. It must be remembered, public sector workers did not cause the recession.
Every town, every village is united around this. Your anger tonight, my anger tonight, is matched by the seething anger of millions of people throughout the country. People who know that this is unfair. People who know that it shouldn't be happening.
People power will tell in the end, because no one is going to look after us. We must look after ourselves.
Come together now, get people together, organise marches, organise protests, and let us all be clear. Industrial action is absolutely inevitable. And as my father said to me when I was young, if you're going to get into a fight, make sure you've got as many people alongside you as possible.
No cuts, no way. Make the rich and the bankers pay.